pledge allegiance
of the
to the
United
flag
States of
of the
America,
United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one
and to the
nation,
republic for which it stands, one nation,
indivisible, with liberty
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome. The August 15, 2024 meeting of the Jackson Township Council will now come to order. Councilman Borelli will be joining us via phone. Councilman Borelli,
Here.
Councilman Bernstein,
Here.
Councilman Chisholm is absent this evening. Council Vice President Sargent is absent. Council President Kuhn.
Here.
As clerk of this meeting, I hereby publicly announce in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in the manner prescribed by law. There are no proclamations or announcements this evening. We move on to opening comments from Township Council. Council President Kuhn.
Thank you. Okay, so I first wanted to explain why we're having a meeting on 4:30 on a Thursday. Obviously, you can see there's two council members up on the dais. We have a different attorney and a different business administrator. It's August. A lot of people are on vacations. The council members, nobody knew, and unfortunately, Council Bernstein was ill. Otherwise, we would have been able to have three. So I just wanted to apologize for that. But work still needs to get done. Bills still need to get paid. And we have some ordinances that were pretty important to get on for infrastructure for our town to continue to move forward. So I just wanted to explain that. Secondly, I just wanted to go over, I know there's a couple faces that haven't been in here in a while, and I want to go over something that it was on, and I call it fake book because it's so fake. But I want to give you the truth about what's going on with the Jackson Fieldhouse and concession stand. So back in March, we understood that there were some problems there, a lot of cuts. So administration, council, police department, fire department, DPW, there was a bunch of us, Board of Education, came together and we had a meeting over at Jackson Memorial to assist in possibly doing some renovations as well as contractors and residents from the area. I don't have everybody, but everybody that was there, there was articles about it. So we wanted to raise, Board of Ed created a flyer for fundraising. We had 3 different sponsorships. Councilman Bernstein, can you just mute or Borelli, can you just mute yourself? So we had bronze, silver, and gold. So I can say myself worked endlessly to try to collect money. I posted everywhere. I did everything. I called people. We have about $650 that was contributed from residents. We have K Well Drilling, which is a business that did a bronze sponsorship. We have Fire District 2 and Local 114 that did $1,750 sponsorship, which is silver. We have Dan and Vicky Black that gave $3,000, which is a gold sponsorship. Myself, Jennifer Lynn Kuhn, did $1,500 silver sponsorship. We have an anonymous donor that Councilman Bernstein collected, which was a silver $1,500. John Poppy, the fire department, and everybody knows who he is. He really worked hard to go to all the fire districts to collect money. So collectively, we have just under $11,000. So we need to get to 30,000. I know that there is a proposal that's going around that's being shared. I looked at that proposal. It was an estimate done on August 2nd. I went there, boots on the ground with many others and contractors, and we went there and we looked. Did we have like a home inspection? I call it a home inspection. Obviously, I'm a realtor. No, but we did have volunteers that were going to do it. That estimate is $19,000 in just labor. It's the material is not there. I myself, I have a little bit of knowledge in things that can be done in repairs. I went to Home Depot and spent my Saturday there and went and looked at all the material that the contractors told me that we would need and went and collectively added it up, measured everything, did it, and it came to about $30,000. So that is where that number came from. I'm not going to, I'm going to be honest, the last month, I haven't been, aggressively pushing it because I kind of, almost gave up a little bit because when you put that much into something and it's just not being, we weren't getting the funds that we needed, let's be honest. So if we don't want anything to happen to our football, we don't want anything to happen to any of our sports, baseball, band, tennis, golf. I just went and met with a resident and her son is a freshman and he's on the varsity golf club. I'm a golfer. I like to golf. I'm not good at it, but I like it. So you don't want to lose these things. And, I am a true advocate of all the sports, and I do try to give back to the community. I love our town, and hopefully this is not going to be a negative. We can take this negative and put it into a positive, and we can get the necessary funds that we need. We're a third there, if you want to look at it positively. But let's kind of work together and let's collect the money. So that I have to say. Now I have to get back into what my other passion, which is traffic safety. So I am not going to read reports because I want to make sure that it's on a regular meeting and everybody, has, not everybody knows that we're having this kind of special quick meeting. But we do have the next equipment is going to be at Georgian Boulevard. That is the next stop that it's going. I believe it went there today or yesterday. And then we are going to, you will see that Director Candido is here and the department head of the traffic safety, Sergeant Hemba. The ordinance that was created, it's 1024. I've showed it many, many times. That's it, guys. It's being implemented. We're at the final stages of getting the passes and the permits. We had a meeting today. We have our final meeting next week with the administration. Warnings have started to be written. I had gotten information from Director Candido that he did let the local officers, patrolmen and women, that they are going to start writing warnings for the next 2 weeks. And then it's going to be ticket time. So should you have any questions of how, and also Title 39, if you don't understand what Title 39 is, we all had to take it when we got a driver's license. So it's not an ordinance. It's standard driving. Just got it with your license. So you can contact the traffic safety, Sergeant Hemba, 732-928-1111, extension 3028, should you have any questions. There's flyers are all over Jackson Township, and I just really, really want to keep our roads safe. Everybody is seeing it on Facebook. It is getting it to be a SHIT out there show. I didn't want to curse, but we just really, really need to, respect our neighbors and everybody come together and just be safe and cautious of children. School is coming. It starts in 3 weeks. We have a lot of work to do, and we just want to be proactive instead of reactive. So I'm sorry I went on so long. The meeting will now start. Thank you. That is it.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein? Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Borelli. Apologies.
Thank you, Clerk Moss. I waive comments at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
So first of all, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, Clerk, for getting this meeting together at the last minute. It was important to ensure the continuity of some of the important projects going on in town. So thank you, Ms. Moss. Secondly, I also just want to take a moment to thank Council President Kuhn. She really, really worked very hard. I don't think a day went by where she wasn't calling and asking people to give a little bit of money towards the field house. And we hope, I guess, the project continues to move forward because I think it's important. The amount of, I was sitting with the council president last night having a conversation, and her phone was just blowing up with residents with questions. So she definitely cares, and we definitely want it to move to the next step. I also just want to thank our public safety director and whoever else from within the department who've been actively working with the council president to move our permitting process forward. Very, very, very necessary. As the school year begins, we urge everyone to be patient, but the PD and DPW and everyone else is working on ensuring that our roads are as safe as possible when the new year begins. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the executive session meeting minutes of July 23rd, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. There are no ordinances for final consideration or public hearing. Ordinances first reading. Ordinance 26-24. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments?
This is the reason why we need to have this meeting. We need to get capital improvements done. So that's.
Thank you. Ordinance 26-24 entitled Bond Ordinance Providing for Various 2024 General Capital Improvements by and in the Township of Jackson in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $606,442.50, therefore including a contribution from the Township Capital Improvement Fund, a capital surplus allocation, and a grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation, and authorizing the issuance of 3 million bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. I need a motion to approve ordinance 26-24 on first reading and to authorize the notice of approval and public hearing to be held on August 27th, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
And Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
Thank you. Council President Kuhn, are any comments regarding ordinance 27-24?
Yes, this is going to prohibit parking on both sides of the road from County Line Road to 350 feet past Bradford Street. That's over by the Muse and Cooks. This is something that just needs to happen. So we originally had it on one side of the road, and I had asked traffic safety to put it on both sides of the road because the cars are just going to go from there to in the woods. And I don't want to look at 8 cars lined up on the side of the road in the woods, and I'm sure you don't, or the neighbors' quality of life don't want to look at that. And I just want to put on the record from Councilman Chisholm, he is in favor of this. He can't be here, so he can't vote, but he did want his voice to be heard that he is in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Ordinance 27-24 of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 103-61 of the Township Code of the Township of Jackson entitled Parking, Stopping, and Standing Prohibited at All Times, and to further amend Schedule 1A, Chapter 103-45.1. I need a motion to approve ordinance 27-24 on first reading and to authorize the notice of approval and public hearing to be held on August 27th, 2024.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
Thank you. We move over to bills and claims. I need a motion to approve or hold.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Abstain on vendor numbers DEL01, NJD04, NJM06, STA01, STA28, and STA76. Yes to the rest on the bills and claims agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bernstein?
Yes to all.
Council President Kuhn.
Abstain from RCS02. Yes to the rest.
Thank you. Consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the list of resolutions under consent agenda.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bernstein?
Yes.
And Council President Kuhn.
Yes.
Thank you. We move on to public comments of any topic. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
Motion to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Good afternoon. Trina Sargent, 155 Wild Dunes Way, Jackson. On July the 23rd, there was a medical emergency with my next door neighbor. She is elderly and has Alzheimer's. The aide came over and asked if I had a key to access to the house. I do not. The aide had been banging on the door and ringing the doorbell, but no one was answering. I asked if she'd walked around the back, and the aide said she was afraid of the deer. There were deer in the woods. We went around the back, and my neighbor was on the floor in the kitchen. She wasn't able to get herself up. No idea how long she'd been there. I called 911, and in the meantime, the aide said she had the numbers for the lockbox. There was a lockbox on the front door, but she couldn't see the numbers. She couldn't read the numbers or knew how to work it. I opened it for her, but there was no key in it. When we then tried the garage door opener, as the aide couldn't see the numbers for that either, but the garage door wouldn't work. The EMTs came, and a police officer, a very astute police officer, who thought maybe the battery needed to be changed in the garage door opener, kudos to him, but it wasn't. The garage door simply wouldn't work. Fortunately, one of the EMTs was able to get in through a window at the back. When he opened the door, I chatted with the EMTs, explaining she had recently come home from the hospital. She cannot be there alone. The EMTs have been there a number of times. Later in the afternoon, I saw the aide sitting in her car with my neighbor. I asked what was going on. Why were they sitting outside in the car? It was 100 degrees. She had been told she had to get the lady out, the shopping. Anyway, she was leaving at 4 o'clock, so I was really concerned about my neighbor being alone until the next, I know you're wondering what I'm getting to, until the next morning. She had previously been in the hospital for some weeks. The son had professional cleaners in and all kinds of stuff. The next day, I called the police non-emergency number because I was really worried about her. She was totally unable to take care of herself. After numerous voicemails, I plowed my way through a number of voicemails on the machine messages, on the non-emergency phone number. When I finally got to the mailbox that I needed for a welfare check to see if someone...
Welfare check, you said? Yeah.
Just for someone to knock on the door.
Welfare check.
Because the aide never, she wasn't there at the weekends and she only came in till 4 o'clock. The mailbox was full. The machine on the welfare service, the non-emergency police number, I got nothing but machines, and the mailbox was full by the time I got to where I wanted to go. After all this, what I am asking is, please ask the personnel to clean off their mailboxes.
Absolutely, ma'am.
It was very stressful.
I could imagine. I'm
She
sorry
was
for that.
eventually taken away. I haven't seen her since.
Okay.
But it was horrifying not to be able to. I don't know her son.
Okay.
I've been there 6 years, and so if you could just please ask people if they,
Absolutely, ma'am.
if they have a position like this, they really need to get the messages or not provide the service. I didn't even know if there was a service.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll get that out. Thank you.
Madam, if you wish, you can call the Ocean County Board of Social Services. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
Deb Jones, Hyson Road, Jackson. I'm just a little confused as to why this meeting is at 4:30 on a
I explained
workday.
that in the beginning. Were you
I
here?
didn't
Oh,
get
I
here
apologize, ma'am.
because
I
we
didn't-
thought
I
it
didn't
was
know-
at 6:30.
Because we had to have an emergency meeting because 2 council members were on vacation and a third council member became very ill, and therefore we didn't have a quorum.
Well, I understand that, but 4:30 is a little difficult for
Because, as you
Jackson
can see-
resident. Wait, let me just
Okay.
finish and then you can answer me.
Okay.
4:30 in the afternoon is a little difficult for most Jackson residents to get here because most of them have to work in order to live in this town. So 4:30 doesn't work it might work for you guys, but anything that has to do with Jackson, every Jackson resident should have the ability and the right to be here. So I'm just disappointed at that. I'm disappointed that we're sitting here, whether it's a quorum or not, it doesn't even look like we're being represented properly from the council. It's just, and I've been at the meetings month after month, and this is not the way Jackson should be doing business.
100%, ma'am. As I had said in the beginning, there was an ordinance that needed to get heard and people needed to get paid with bills and claims. So when I did cancel the meeting, I canceled it. I was asked by our chief financial officer to put a meeting on absolutely as soon as possible. As you can see, Mr. McGuckin isn't here. This is his partner, and he has an event to attend to, and we had to get the meeting on so that the town can continue to move on. So
No, I understand it
unfortunately,
being today. I just don't understand it being at 4:30 in the afternoon.
because he can't come at 6:30 today, so therefore it had to be at 4:30 so that we could get the meeting on the agenda because nobody could come tomorrow. So it's never happened before. It is not a regular thing, and it would never happen again unless it was an emergency, and that's why this is called a special meeting. It's not a regular scheduled meeting. So
But you're
I'm
making decisions for the Township of Jackson,
I'm
correct?
trying to get professionals paid and get ordinances that were asked to be put through to get on the agenda so that we could vote on them. We have councilmen that are calling in. That's not a normal process.
I know, I get that, but again, it's my taxes as a resident that are paying these things. So I'm just saying,
Okay, and I appreciate that.
it's not right.
Sorry, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, guys. Jeff Henba, lifelong resident, 43 years. Just a couple things. As the last person was just up here to comment, some of us don't work 8 to 4, 7 to 3. Some of us work 4 to midnight or midnight to 8. So the meeting time, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. The second thing is the field house. I personally played football 4 years, Jackson Memorial. That field house is in shambles. I was there with the members, Council President Kuhn and Councilman Bernstein. It's a mess in there. It's embarrassing, quite honestly. There's been that field house is almost historic. I mean, the thing's probably been there since from the 70s. And there's been some really good football teams that ran through that building. And I'm just hoping that some people can donate to fix that. That snack stand over there, the football team really relies on that to pay for probably multiple things that they're not getting from the Board of Ed, such as uniforms and shoulder pads and helmets. And the thing on traffic, I go on Facebook. I try my best not to comment on there. I try being as professional as I can. We have a lot of issues with traffic. We're working our butts off to fix some of the problems. It doesn't happen overnight. Ordinances take time to create. They take time to enact. People complain when roads are getting widened. People complain when roads aren't paved. So it's like, it's almost a no-win situation. There's multiple projects coming in town to fix some of these intersections, to widen some of these intersections. We're trying to be as transparent as we can be. Some of these projects I get plans for them now. They're not done for 5-6 years. That's just how it works. The county owns the county roadways, and the county does what they want on the county roadways. So a lot of these county roadways, which are the majority in town, you could contact the county if you have multiple complaints. I will field the complaints. I do the best I can. But a lot of it has to go to the county. You can go to the county meetings, and you can complain there. The municipal roads, we're doing our best to fix the parking situations. We understand it's a major issue. That's why we're trying to roll out this permit process. And there's some other things that are going to come in the works as well. I don't know for sure yet, but some things are being thrown around out there. Maybe one side street parking in the future, and so on certain roads, not all roads. We're doing, like I said, we're doing the best we can. We're going to have a lot of enforcement details out there in September when school starts to try getting the message across that certain things aren't allowed. So I think that's all I have. But again, I'll reiterate that field house. That's like I said, it was pretty embarrassing in there. I mean, for our kids to even be in there right now it's not great. I mean, it's in bad shape. So I hope people can step up. I know times are tough right now. Can donate some money, and we can get this $20,000 more, and we can fix the building. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Council President, can I just say one thing quickly?
Yes.
As many people may be aware, recently the county started widening South New Prospect. I saw a lot of rumors. People have been texting me. The county is not widening South New Prospect to add parking to South New Prospect. The county is widening it for driving, so it should be a safer road. I did have the opportunity of having a conversation recently with some of the county commissioners and engineers. They are actively looking at East Veterans, which is obviously been a mess recently. I don't have anything tangible to report yet, but the county is putting 2 feet forward, and I appreciate the work of our police department also. Thank you.
And I just want to add to that. So Councilman Bernstein has been, by the mayor and administration, he is a liaison for us to the county roads. He calls them endlessly. I deal with municipal roads. That's why I deal with traffic safety a lot when it comes to county. Councilman Bernstein is the liaison for us, and he's fighting for us and going to meetings and making phone calls and a PIA for all of us in our county roads. And we have probably the most county roads that I know of any other town. So thank you. And thank you for coming up and then giving that explanation. I appreciate that. Next.
I'm Patricia Mazzillo.
I'm with the Jackson Memorial High School Parent Football Club. I have with me tonight the president of the association. We have some members with us here. We have parents that were able to make this 4:30 meeting to meet with us. We are getting, or we have the understanding that there are permits to start work in the concession stand.
So I am going to personally get the permits filled out. So we have the contractor, Good Mowing, is going to be doing the construction, and AME Plumbing is going to be doing the plumbing. I spoke with both of them today, multiple times. They are going to put their licenses, get the permits. The township administrator, I spoke with the mayor, is going to waive all fees. And it come with, we have to do permits, we have to go by the rules, and I'm also going to personally hand them to Mr. Wilton over at the department head of the building department and ask him to not do any favors, but just help our kids out to get it done as soon as possible and get the inspections out. We don't want to, we can't bump on other people, but we will make sure that we do everything we can.
Okay. The reason we're here today is after receiving, and of course, the blast went out on Facebook. You are 100% correct. And it's a shame that it had to come to that in order to get something going. But when we were there in May, it was our understanding that, yes, our boys cannot be in that type of conditions, okay? It's not only the boys for football, it's wrestling, okay? And it's other people that are using that field house as well. Sanitary needs. Okay, last year and the year before that, or 2 years before that, we actually had parent volunteers go into that building and paint the floors and clean that place from top to bottom so our boys had something clean to go into. As a school district of this size, there should be something that can be done so that we have the proper facilities for our kids. Now, again, as the parents, okay, and the parent club, we do a lot of fundraising for the boys, okay? None of this money is profit for us. We are a nonprofit organization. Everything we have, we give back. They get apparel. We take care of the refs during the game. We give them food. At the end of games, the boys are provided with food, okay? These are things, and our concession closing is a huge problem. Okay. Again, late season, just so you have an idea of why we're here, we did some research ourselves. Okay. We purchased the 3-bay sink that was needed. Okay. We purchased the countertop that is needed. We purchased the storage, there's storage under there that is needed, that was required. All we needed to do was have someone install it. Now, this thing became from a swap out of a sink to this huge renovation. And I don't think it should have come to that. There's so much we do as volunteers and fundraising, and thank you for your donation.
You're welcome.
Again, that's helping out the coaches side. Some of the parents took on the project of cleaning up the locker room. We supplied the paint and brushes. So we're supplying those things, not the school district, we do. We purchased the grill. We have a grill to be used during games, okay? We have found that it's being used outside of the concession stand and being taken to different schools. That's not your problem, but we're just saying, okay? One day before the game, we're cleaning the entire grill all over again. We are trying to keep things as neat as possible, trying to keep up with it. We need the funds. There has to be something that we can do here as a district. I mean, my taxes just went up an enormous amount of money, okay? And it's not easy to take. We work tirelessly fundraising, asking parents for more and more so the team can have what they need. We supply uniforms, coaches, gifts, stipends, scholarships, okay? During our playoff games that are a distance away, we do packaged lunches. We do brown bag lunches so that the boys have food on their way to these playoff games. Okay, there's a lot we do that nobody understands. The field house, you are probably correct. This is our 60th year with Jackson
60.
School. So you're probably looking at a field house that is just about that age. I've contacted the health department. I've been working with the health department to get an understanding of everything. It seems that there are things that we need and things that we don't.
I just,
Could I ask a question?
yeah,
Could I just ask one question quickly?
One second. I just want to, your time's up. I don't, but I will get crucified on social media if I let you go on any longer. One, I just want to say, the Board of Ed got $2.5 million, and $1.5 million is going towards courtesy busing. And we tried to get curbs and sidewalks for the second million. And I have, in my email, was told that it has to go towards the Board of Education buildings that they own, the infrastructure. So my question is, and it's going to be after this meeting, I just haven't had the time to email the Board of Ed, why can't you help us? Because we're improving your buildings. We don't own these buildings. You don't own these buildings. You guys are running out of them, yes, and you're self-funding. But why can't you, in an extra $1 million, give the football team and the wrestling team and the band and whatever their concession stands and residents are coming together to do it. I get it, and I'm happy to contribute, and I like to do it. I love sports. I think kids in sports is the best thing in the world. So I'm going to ask to the Board of Ed, can you match what we're doing? We have $10,000. We have $10,650. They actually have it because it's in the Board of Ed, their fund. They have a 501. They have a nonprofit fund. So Tina Katz actually has the money in her account because I asked her for a calculation before I came, but she was working, so she couldn't give me exact numbers. So I calculated myself. But I'm going to make that call. Like, Board of Ed, help us. You have that extra $1 million. You got it from Alex Sawicki's grant of $2.5 million. $1.5 million is going to go to keep the kids safe on buses, and then take 15 a little bit and help, put it into your building, right? I know you do improvements in your home, right? Every couple of years you paint, you keep up on your building. You can't let it go and not do anything for 60 years and expect it not to fall apart, as, Sergeant Hembed said. So, and he knows, he played in there. I walked in there. I was looking at, let's put some paint, do this and that. But there's some serious plumbing issues in there. So I'm sorry, Councilmember Bernstein,
It's
please.
not only the plumbing issues, but it's the disappointment on the boys' faces when
I know.
they're going to get new lockers, and it's actually going to be state-of-the-art stuff that they see in other places.
We
To come
haven't
back
given
to-
up. I have to stop this, but you can make.
I was actually going to ask the same exact question. There's one point that, again, it's not my place to tell the Board of Ed what to use their money for, but there's $1 million left in infrastructure. To me, this is infrastructure. We have a crowd here at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is rare. It sounds like the parents is something extremely important. I think I'll definitely ask Council President, if we can send a joint email requesting that this.
That
be something
email will be
looked at.
out tomorrow with the request.
So we can talk after?
You may? Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. I would like to,
Yes.
stay informed as to
You
what's going on.
absolutely will. I'll give you my card before I leave. Thank
I know
you.
where to find you.
I know you came to my office. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Paul. I'm at 1009 West Commodore Boulevard. I'm very familiar with Jackson, but I'm a citizen like 2 weeks old. So I'm here because I have a concern about my being able to. I'm an objector to the proposal to put an industrial excavation construction yard in a highway commercial and our R3 zone. I emailed almost all the councilmen. It's not a permitted use, and it really is against the zoning, our master plan. So I'm an objector, and I plan to attend the 21st August meeting. But I feel a little intimidated about being able to present my case.
Why would you feel intimidated?
The last time that we were there, I don't know. Nobody on your side of that Diaz should have a short temper. If they do, they really shouldn't be back there.
Are you talking about the response you got from Murphy?
I'm just saying that I want to have the ability to say what I say. I will not be insulting. I'll be factual. And it's important to have the public participate without getting cut off. And anyway, congratulations on your appointment and thank you for your service. And that's all. Thank you.
Sir, wait, 1 second. I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm Jennifer. We had spoke on the phone. And hi, I'm Jennifer. We spoke on the phone and you emailed me and I emailed you back and I had to speak with the zoning board attorney, Mr. Murphy. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Can I get closer?
Go ahead. Come here. It's okay.
Should talk after.
No. I wanted to personally apologize for the way that the attorney spoke to you because I know exactly what you mean. All right. And that shouldn't happen and nobody should speak to you like that. So I agree with you.
So you don't have to apologize.
Okay.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you
And
for caring.
of 100%. No. Yes, it absolutely was.
I'm not talking about individuals.
No, I know. No worry. Don't worry, sir.
Correct, and it's important for you to let us know when that happens. And it's important for you to let us know when it happens, so thank you.
I'm not going to dive into it. I just, try to preserve my ability.
Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
She's coming up.
Hi. Tracy Lavaco, I live on Diamond Road.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear.
Tracy Lavaco, I live on Diamond Road in Jackson. When do you know, like, I said you're going to reach out to the Board of Ed. When would you have a timeline? Because our games start in 2 weeks.
I know. So
Unfortunately.
I spoke to the contractor, I spoke with the plumber. We're going to get, I'm waiting for, I actually called Sean Belinsky. Wasn't supposed to, but I called, he's on vacation, just to see when he was going to come back so that who the contact was at the Board of Ed. And I got the name Anthony Russo is the Board of Ed grounds. So I also spoke with Mr. Waller, business administrator, and he actually composed an email to the Board of Ed and said, and they are giving the blessing. We just have to go boots on the ground and get the contractors to get up because we got to get their insurance. We got to get the permits. We got to get everything going. But as soon as we can get that plumber to look at it and say, okay, diagnose it and say, it's going to take this. As long as we have the blessing from the building department, we're going to go as quick as we can. We can't trump other permits processes.
Right,
We have to do it. But I'll get them into if I can get the permits filled out by the contractor tomorrow, I can tell you, I will personally go in there and hand them into Mr. Willen.
And that proposal that went out on Facebook, it was.
First of all, it's from
ridiculous.
Keyport, and I read the comments. I stopped reading them after, I was like, this is intense because I know how hard I worked on it, and I know how hard other people work. Fireman Poppy is still out there collecting. He's still got
Right.
more checks for us, but it's a bidding process. So that's the
what
way I
was gonna
believe
ask.
it
There
works.
was multiple
Yeah.
Contractors.
So if we all came together, that's why you have local contractors. We all came together and said, okay, we're not going to charge labor for this, and we're going to do material, and we're going to raise the funds. I'm not on that side, but I believe that the way Board of Ed has to do is they bid it out, they get 3 bids, and whatever's the cheapest of the cheap,
Right.
that's what they go with.
Okay.
So,
I knew that was the process.
yeah,
I
it's
just
a different
wondered if it was
process than
followed.
regular, but that is kind of, but listen, we're on record. We have reporters here. So hopefully there's a on that sheet that everybody has, you can take an icon. A lot of people don't want to do that because they do take a percentage of your credit card. And that's why so many checks are done. But everybody, I think all y'all know where my office is. If you want to just bring them and drop them off at my office, I will make sure that I get them to Tina and get them into the account. And I will be definitely I'll call you all when we hit that amount.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public session.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
to close?
Motion. Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
We are
Aye. Have a good night. Thank you everyone
Aye.
for coming.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care.